Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're going microscopic, exploring this world that's, well, literally getting smaller. Yet its impact on our future, it's growing exponentially. We're plunging into nanoelectronics, that cutting edge field of tiny tech reshaping everything. Our mission today, let's unpack a really comprehensive market forecast report. We want to get beyond just the numbers and really understand the extraordinary path and the forces driving this revolution.
Absolutely. And for you, our informed listener, nanoelectronics is fundamentally the bedrock of modern innovation. It's all about using nanotechnology to engineer electronic bits and pieces, systems really, right down at the atomic or molecular scale. When we talk about why it's so important, we're looking at constant progress in nanotech itself, the huge uptake of miniature devices everywhere,
Mhm.
and its critical role in things like supercomputing, next-gen healthcare, even advanced energy solutions. These tiny innovations, they power our connected world.
You really hit it there, why this is such a critical topic. And our source material, it just lays out the sheer scale of this shift. Let's paint the global picture first, okay? Back in 2021, the whole nanoelectronics market pulled in, wow, just over $11 billion in sales revenue. Impressive. But here's what really stands out. By 2025, that number it's projected to jump to nearly 17 billion. And looking even further ahead, say 2033, the market could hit a staggering $39.8 billion. We're looking at an average annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 11.24% over that whole period.
Okay, so how does this incredible global growth actually break down when we, look region by region?
Well, yeah, zooming out, you definitely see distinct patterns. Each region brings its own unique dynamics to this whole global growth story. It's not like it's growing the same everywhere. It's more a complex mix of innovation, market demand, and strategic investment. That's a perfect way to put it. Let's start with North America then. Often seen as a mature market, right? But it still shows surprising resilience and, well, pretty robust growth in nanoelectronics. What specific strategies or shifts are keeping that expansion going, even in these established economies?
North America is definitely a solid foundation, but it's also, highly dynamic. In 2021, the market there was over $3.4 billion forecast, over $5.2 billion by 2025, and projected out to 2033, nearly $12 billion. That's growing at an average rate of 10.844% per year. What's key here isn't just adopting it early, it's the deep integration we're seeing. There's intense investment in nanoscale stuff for specialized uses like AI accelerators, advanced quantum computing setups, next-gen medical diagnostics. It's less about just shrinking devices now and more about fundamentally rethinking computing power and healthcare right down to the atomic level, pushing those performance limits.
That deep integration point, that's really interesting. And within North America, the U.S. really dominates, doesn't it? Our source shows the U.S. market more than tripling, growing from about 2.7 billion in 2021 to over 9.3 billion by 2033. That's an average annual growth of 10.755%. But it's not only the U.S. Canada also shows really promising momentum. Their CAGR is 11.205%, set to hit almost 1.9 billion by 2033. And Mexico is expanding steadily too, 11.056% average annual growth, reaching nearly 790 million by 2033. So it sounds like even these established markets are still finding new frontiers to explore.
Exactly. Even in these, let's call them mature economies, those consistent double-digit growth rates, they point to ongoing significant investment in R&D. Plus, there's strong demand for higher performance, smaller devices, and nanoelectronics are being applied broadly across advanced industries that already exist. It's about staying competitive, continuous innovation, not just getting into the market for the first time.
Right. Okay, so from North America, let's cross the Atlantic. Europe. Here, we see such a diverse industrial scene, precision manufacturing, med tech. They're all adopting these innovations. It creates really varied growth stories. What's the overall picture for Europe, and what are the standout trends there?
The European market, as a whole, shows real vitality. It generated almost $2.95 billion back in 2021. It's expected to reach nearly $4.55 billion by 2025, and the projections for 2033, they soar to almost $10.9 billion. That reflects a really impressive average annual growth rate of 11.518%. So Europe is definitely a major player on the global stage here.
And the report does highlight some particularly strong performers within Europe. Germany, for instance, shows robust momentum, right? An average annual growth rate of 11.827%. It's expanding from around 652 million in 2021 to almost 2.5 billion by 2033. Italy's not far behind either, growing at a similar pace, 11.818% each year, set to reach over 1.1 billion by 2033. And beyond those two, the UK and France are also huge contributors, both projected over 1.5 billion by 2033 with EGRs over 11%. It's clear this isn't just pockets of growth, it's a continent-wide shift shift, technologically speaking.
Well, absolutely. And that engagement, it really does extend broadly. While Germany and Italy might lead in specific growth rates, we also see consistent double-digit average annual growth in other key European nations. Think Russia, Spain, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, even Luxembourg. This widespread adoption, it's fueled by Europe's strengths, like in high-value manufacturing, the automotive sector, cutting-edge medical tech. For instance, in healthcare, we're seeing more advanced biosensors for, say, early disease detection and new nanomaterials for drug delivery systems. That's becoming more common, driven by serious R&D funding and collaborative projects within the EU.
Okay, right. Now let's talk about the real powerhouse, the region everyone seems to be watching. Asia Pacific, we've highlighted impressive growth everywhere, but Asia Pacific, it really stands out as the epicenter of this whole nanoelectronics revolution. What's the secret sauce there? What's behind that incredible speed and scale?
Asia Pacific is, unequivocally the fastest growing region, no question. The sheer velocity, the speed of this expansion, it's really striking. The market was almost $2.6 billion in 2021. It surged to over $4.2 billion by 2025, and the projection for 2033, almost $10.9 billion. That reflects a phenomenal average annual growth rate of 12.595%, significantly faster than other regions.
Those numbers are just incredible. And our source material really does spotlight the key drivers within Asia Pacific. India, for example, boasts the highest growth rate globally, a staggering 13.25% average annual growth, moving from just over 413 million in 2021 to a projected 1.9 billion by 2033. Wow. And China, not to be outdone, leads in market size in the region, a strong CAGR of 12.909%, growing from over 904 million in 21 to nearly 4 billion by 2033. Japan also remains a major player, set to reach almost 2 billion by 2033, with a CAGR of 12.437%. What makes these specific countries such powerhouses? Is it different reasons for each?
It's kind of a dual strategy, you could say. China's massive market size and growth, that's fueled by really aggressive investment in domestic semiconductor plants, fabs, to achieve self-sufficiency. Plus, you have that enormous consumer base driving demand for everything, smart devices, electric vehicles, all increasingly packed with advanced nanoelectronics. India's explosive growth, on the other hand, that seems propelled by its rapid digital transformation, a thriving startup scene, and a big focus on innovation hubs. They're leveraging nanoelectronics for areas like smart agriculture, affordable healthcare solutions. We're talking about technologies like maybe graphene-based transistors that could radically improve chip performance, or neuromorphic chips designed to mimic the human brain. And you've got countries like Australia, Singapore, Taiwan also contributing significantly, all showing average annual growth rates well over 11.8%. So this region isn't just adopting, it's actively driving the future of nanoelectronics.
Right, driving it. Okay, from that rapid expansion in Asia Pacific, let's shift gears a bit. South America, a region with, let's say, different dynamics. Maybe not the same explosive growth, but still holding significant emerging potential, right?
Yeah, South America's growth, it's steady, but it's comparatively slower than what we see in Asia Pacific. The average annual growth rate there is 7.913%. The market's projected to grow from just over $565 million in 2021 to over $1.4 billion by 2033, which, indicates a developing market. Adoption might be influenced by different economic factors, infrastructure development stages, but the path is still clearly upwards.
And within that, Brazil really stands out as the dominant market, projected to grow from around 222 million in 2021 to over 562 million by 2033. That's an average annual growth rate of 8.016%. We also see solid contributions from places like Argentina and Colombia. So, yeah, still significant expansion, just at a different pace, maybe more foundational compared to other regions.
Precisely. I mean, in nearly 8% average annual growth rate is still pretty substantial. It definitely indicates growing awareness and application of nanoelectronics. This is likely driven by specific industry needs, sectors like mining, energy, telecoms, alongside an expanding tech infrastructure across the continent. It points to a market that's steadily building its capacity and demand.
Okay, now let's turn our attention to the Middle East, a region we know is rapidly diversifying its economies, making really strategic investments in future tech, including nanoelectronics.
Yeah, the Middle East market really demonstrates that strategic shift. It recorded almost $743 million back in 2021. It's projected to hit over $1 billion by 2025, and then almost $2.3 billion by 2033. That reflects a solid average annual growth rate of 9.931%. This growth clearly mirrors that strategic focus on technology, on diversification away from traditional industries.
And our sources show Saudi Arabia as the largest market within the region, set to reach over 860 million by 2033 with a 9.81 cis per 6 CAGR. But it's also really important to point out the impressive growth rates in Turkey and the UAE, both showing some of the highest KGRs in the region, actually. 10.321% for Turkey and 10.322% for the UAE. This really underscores the region's commitment, doesn't it? Especially with their ambitious national vision plans.
Absolutely. That strong growth in places like Turkey and the UAE, it suggests not just adoption, but potentially significant investment. Investment in developing their own nanoelectronics capabilities, applying them in big national projects like smart cities, future energy initiatives. They're really looking to leverage these technologies to transform their economies and infrastructure.
Okay, finally, let's look at Africa, often characterized as an emerging frontier for so many technologies, and that includes nanoelectronics. What's the outlook for this dynamic continent?
Africa is indeed an emerging market in nanoelectronics, but one with considerable potential. Revenue is just over $765 million in 2021, projected to reach over $1.1 billion in 2025, and then almost $2.36 billion by 2033. That's at an average annual growth rate of 9.818%, which really raises an important question, doesn't it? What untapped opportunities lie there as the continent keeps up its digital transformation and tackles its unique development challenges?
Yeah, definitely. And within that, our report focuses on key markets like South Africa. It's the largest, growing from over 338 million in 2021 to more than 1 billion by 2033, with a CAG of 9.913%. Nigeria also shows significant growth, from around 157 million in 21 to over 483 million by 2033, with a 9.767% CAGR. So it's clear, while it's emerging, the potential for nanoelectronics in Africa is substantial, especially maybe in leapfrogging older technologies.
Right. The growth in these key African economies suggests a foundational development phase. Nanoelectronics will likely play a crucial role in improving vital infrastructure, expanding connectivity for underserved populations,
Yeah.
and driving innovation in areas like mobile tech, healthcare, sustainable energy solutions, things specifically tailored for the continent's needs. These are, essential building blocks for future economic development there.
Well, wow. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the established giants to the emerging frontiers, all through the lens of incredibly small technology. It's undeniably clear, isn't it? The global nanoelectronics market is on just an extraordinary growth path. Our sources show the main drivers are, like you said, continuous advancements in nanotech itself, the increasing adoption of miniature devices everywhere, and the expanding applications of these tiny wonders in crucial sectors: computing, healthcare, energy.
And if we connect all these regional pieces back to that bigger global picture, yeah, it's undeniable. Asia-Pacific stands out as the leader in growth velocity, especially highlighting India's top growth rate, that huge momentum from China and Japan. But, every region we talked about plays a vital, interconnected part in this whole global story, each shaping the future in its own way. These tiny technologies, they are shaping our future in monumental ways, fundamentally altering how we interact with the world and how our world functions, from the micro right up to the macro.
Absolutely fascinating stuff, and it really makes you think, doesn't it? As nanoelectronics continue to shrink technology down and expand its reach into every part of our lives, from tiny biosensors tracking health to the most powerful AI processors, what personal impact do you foresee these advancements having on your day-to-day world? And what revolutionary applications might still be just beyond the horizon? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of nanoelectronics. We'll catch you next time.